Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. In this episode of the Music Den, I'm going to be doing a CD review. It is this CD right here. Again, forgive my stubby little fingers. This is the latest release from Canadian musician Steve Negus called Economy of Motion, released in late 2023. This is the band's follow-up release to their 2008 album Dare to Dream, which was released on Cyclone Records. Now, for those of you out there who don't know about Steve Negus, he has been in the business since 1972, drummer, percussionist, fantastic musician. For 26 years, he was a member of the band, Canadian progressive rock band Saga. He's also worked with musicians such as Krista Berg on his release The Getaway featuring the track Don't Pay the Ferryman. He's also worked with producer Rupert Hine on his album Waving Not Drowning from 1982. On the track One Man's Poison, Rupert Hine, um, if you may or may not know, also produced two albums for Saga, Worlds Apart and Heads or Tails. Rupert Hine has also worked with other musicians such as Stevie Nicks, Rush, just to name two. In 2022, Steve Negus was featured on the album The Seven Ages of Starlight from the progressive rock outfit Art Griffin's Sound Chaser. Now, onto the album. For this incarnation of Negus, you have a trio here. You have Steve Negus on drums and percussion and keyboards, acoustic guitar and vocals. You have Mike Benedictus, again, I hope I say that correctly, on bass, acoustic bass, and fretless bass. You have Kerry Kurlick on guitars. Now, Kerry Kurlick and Steve Negus also worked together on the album The Seven Ages of Starlight from Art Griffin's Sound Chaser. I also had that album. It is fantastic. Also featured on Economy of Motion is what is known as the Negus Choir, featuring Steve Negus, his wife Nicole Negus, and Al Langlade on vocals. Now, the way I found out about this album is through my Facebook page. It came across my feed because I am a member of the Saga fan group. This information came about, and I will put the information in the description below where to get this album, but I'll give it to you right now. You can get this album through Steve Negus's Facebook page, and it is titled Negus, the continuing saga of Steve Negus of Saga, in brackets, those last two words. But again, I'll put it in the description below. Now, there are 10 tracks on this album. All of the tracks, with the exception of two, 8 of the 10 tracks were written by Steve Negus, Mike Benedictus, and uh, Kerry Kurlick. Two tracks, The Gathering and Economy Acoustic, were written solo by Steve Negus. The album starts off with The Gathering, Let the Games Begin. Very epic, this track. Nice use of swirling synths. The drums and guitars that come in, they're very heavy. I guess you'd say that um, Carrie's playing on this track has a very staccato kind of playing style. It's very cinematic feel. There's nice use of strings on this track. And then the choir come in. It's very heavy, very grand, very cinematic. You would almost imagine this track being used as the intro or outro for a film, right? Very heavy, but also fantastically done. It's amazing. Next track on the album is called Warning. In my notes I have here, nice rhythmic synth intro, good steady drum pattern. I gotta say, two things. Steve's drumming on this album, fantastic. Heavy, but not overplayed, you know. Kerry Kurlick's guitar playing, all over this son of a bitch. Like, amazing album, just an amazing guitarist. And according to my notes here, nice on this track. I have nice twinning of guitar and synth on melody lines. What I notice is on these tracks, there's a lot of use of twinning of guitar and synth lines, to the point where I almost can't tell whether it's a synth playing or a guitar. But fantastically done, just amazing. Beautiful guitar tone. Kerry Kurlick's guitar tone on this is just fantastic. Um, and I also have in my notes a nice dueling passage between guitar and synth. There's a lot of use of call and response on this, between synth and guitars on this album. Just amazing. Up next is the title track, Economy of Motion. I have in my notes as I move the camera. My apologies, guys. It's been one of those days, guys. I have in my notes nice beefy rhythm guitars, nice rhythmic drum beat, great guitar soloing, bordering on shredding. Kerry Kurlick can shred like no one's business. Just bloody amazing. Um, in my notes I have here, I've used the term ass shaker of a tune, of a track. I have in my notes ass shaking rhythm, great fat guitar tone on this track. Uh, Next track is a song called Latino 7. Um, and it clocks in at one of the longest tracks, like 6 minutes plus. Uh, Steve Negus has said that he has been influenced by Latin music. Latino 7 starts off very subtle, nice bass intro. Mike DeBenefictis bass playing on this album is fantastic. Nice percussion accents, great rhythm guitar, good call and response between guitar and keyboards. Almost like a dueling thing, like call and answer kind of response kind of thing going on. Fantastic. Uh, Nice guitar solo from Kerry Kurlick. Great guitar line runs. Nice use of light and shade on this track. What I mean by light and shade is, for me, I refer to light as the heavier sections, heavy drums, guitars, and I refer to shade as the more subtle, quiet moments with synth passages, etc. Just, acoustic guitars, just amazing. They use this type of bouncing back and forth between light and shade on this album quite a bit, and it works amazingly. Next up on the album is track 5, a piece of music called Best Foot Forward. And as a in my notes, I have rhythmic piano intro. Um, the drums and guitar come in very heavy rhythm guitar. There's a lot of bottom end on this album with regards to rhythm guitar. Just really beefy, chunky rhythm guitar from Kerry Kurlick. Just amazing. Great backbeat, very rhythmic, and again, a beautiful lead guitar on this track. Next track, track 6, called Economy Acoustic, is the second track written solo by Steve Negus. Beautiful acoustic guitars, great melody, very laid back feel. Guitars are very much up front in the mix. Um, and I would say that too about the drums. There's certain albums when you hear drum parts that they're sort of uh, put down in the mix, like very low. On this album, there's great balance of drums, bass, and guitar, a nice separation of the instruments. The It could be viewed as very layered and textured, but there's also a lot of space in the playing. There's a lot of room to move and breathe on this album, which I really like. I really, really do. Track 7 is one called The Chase of the Thrill, a reverse of The Thrill of the Chase, featuring William Hare on keyboards. In my notes, I have nice subtle intro guitar. Nice subtle intro. Sorry, I forgot the comma here. Guitar has a sort of finger picking style on the intro. Um, then the rhythm guitars kicks in, and very heavy rhythm guitars on this, just all over the place. Um, Nice guitar tone and solo on this track. Good intricate drum patterns from Steve Negus on this. And I like the fact that um, on the end of the track, Kerry Kurlick basically holds the note on guitar, just holds it right to the very end of the track. There's no fade out, just dead stop. But he holds that note on the fretboard as long as he can. Just amazing. Just amazing. Next up is a track called Late Nights. Um, in my notes, I have swirling synth intro, very relaxed feel. Um, very relaxed on the percussion, very melodic, nice twinning again of guitar and synth lines. Track nine is another track called Turnaround. Starts with swirling synth intro, drum and rhythm guitar come in. Fantastic. Nice rhythm guitar on this. Very melodic, good drum rhythm underpinning the entire track. Steve's in there, keeping everyone in time, keeping everyone going, moving the track along, just fantastic. And there is some great guitar soloing on this track. The last track, called The Celebration, is a fantastic ending to the album. It's most notable for me and for Saga fans out there. It features Peter Rochon on synths. Now, Peter Rochon was the original keyboardist for Saga. Um, he was featured on the debut album. He left the band shortly after the album was released. Fantastic album closer. Again, it's called The Celebration. And according to my notes, I have here a nice soothing synth intro. Drum and guitar come in, great guitar tone, nice twinning again of guitar and piano lines. You have Peter Rochon on piano and keyboards on this track. Um, I have in my notes the synth playing on this track is, for me, it's very reminiscent of the debut Saga album with songs like The Perfectionist and Ice Nice and Will It Be You, part of the chapters uh, segment, Um, Fantastic. Nice bass on this track from Mike DeBenicictis. Good piano chords, very grand piano chords. Again, good use of light and shade because there's heavy sections, and there's also some nice soft piano and keyboard passages. Um, the track for me, as I have in my notes, has a sense of finality about it in terms of, for me, the album starts off, it may not be a concept album, but for me, the album starts off like you're going on a journey, with the track The Gathering. And you go through, in my very humble opinion, right? It's just my opinion, but you go through all these emotions, whether good experiences, bad experiences, and you come out the other end changed. Maybe permanent, maybe not, but you're not the same at the end of the journey. And for me, The Celebration has that kind of a feel to it. Okay. Beautiful track, beautiful way to end the album. And yeah, to me, this album does tell a story. You can put this album on. I'll show it to you again. Here it is. Okay. Steve was very nice to sign this copy for me. You can put this album on. Okay, I've said in many videos, I'm one for putting on an album and just turning off the lights. The only light coming in the room would be the lights coming off the components from the stereo. And you can just sit back and just relax and just let the music take you on a journey, right? You don't know where you're going to end up at the end of the journey, but you know what? You'll be better off for it. You know what I mean? Once you hear this album. And yeah, for me, this is a fantastic album. I will be listening to this, and Bob was mentioning how he liked it as well. Um, I will be listening to this album for quite some time. So that's it for now. I will be putting the Steve's Facebook page link in order for you to get this album. It is self-released. And I do believe that this album should be talked about more, which is why I'm doing the review. So please check this album out. Once you get the Facebook address from me and contact them as to how, Mr. Negus as to how you can receive your copy of Economy of Motion. Okay? So please, that's it for now. Please look after yourselves and one another. I am Armando Venditti signing off, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.